everyone, we're Sahand and Akane, climbing together in Indianapolis in the United States. A little over 2 years ago, we climbed our first outdoor 512A at Red River Gorge in Kentucky, and this past season, we did our first 512D. In this video, we're going to reflect on our progression and talk about what it took for us to get to 512D from 512A with limited time on actual rock. The 512D we projected was one of the 5-star classics at the Red, Jesus Wept. It starts with an overhang, powerful bouldering, followed by a good resting point and the final cracks on the vertical pockety section. This route requires a combination of multiple energy systems. You need a balance of strength and power to get through the first bouldering section, good finger strength to do the cracks moves on 2 finger pockets, and a good aerobic system to keep moving on this almost 100 feet of climbing. So the first takeaway is to understand different energy systems in climbing and analyze which systems are required for the particular route you're working on. We started working on Jesus Wept last year in the fall. In the following spring season, we took a break from it and focused working on our weakness and experiencing many types of routes. We did short, steep, and powerful routes like Reticent 512C and Sex Farm 512B, which require a little bit of power endurance. We also worked on our on-site or flash ability on lots of 11 plus and 12 minus. We climbed more sustained, pumpy routes like the Fury 511C and Mercy the Half 512B, which is mostly about forearm endurance. For the routes with 1 or 2 particular cracks like Gung Ho 512B, we needed basic fitness to be able to hang, rest, and recover so we could continue and pass the cracks. Through these routes, we learned and experienced different energy systems coming into play. It is therefore important to analyze your routes and have a good understanding of the associated energy systems. We prefer to sport climb and boulder equally, which can be more challenging, so our goal has been to be a balanced climber. For this, we usually train strength and power for the bouldering season while maintaining endurance, and work on endurance during the sport climbing season while maintaining strength and power. If you're not familiar with these energy systems, I encourage you to watch our previous video explaining the differences. We further show strength and power training in more detail. For routes like Mercy the Half, where most of the holes are good crimps and edges, or Gung Ho, which has a crimpy cracks, it is advantageous to have good aerobic system and finger strength. On the other hand, power plays more role than finger strength on routes with big moves on good holes like Sex Farm. I personally had enough finger strength and power 2 years ago to do all the moves around 512 minus in isolation, but when it comes to linking all the moves in one go, I did not have the overall fitness to send the route. This is because my base endurance and power endurance were not systematically trained. For example, sustained routes like the Fury and Mercy the Half are very easy with V1 or V2 boulder problems, but very long. So you need to be able to recover between sections on good holes. My aerobic system wasn't good enough to do this. Mosaic 512C is another example, where you do 20 to 25 easy moves, maybe 5-10 plus, and then you have to recover for the top part, which is sustained climbing requiring a little bit of your power endurance. Back then, I didn't have enough aerobic system to recover and power endurance to execute some power moves back to back. So with limited access to outdoor climbing, here was our approach to address these. We focused on improving our base endurance by climbing on good holes on the tread wall for 10 to 15 minutes, and power endurance by doing circuits of 30 to 40 moves on the spray wall. Improving base endurance is literally the basis for any sport climbing. Without base endurance, you can't effectively rest on a good hold and recover, and you won't be able to train power endurance effectively either. We tried different protocols on the tread wall and spray wall. If you would like to know more about details, let us know in the comment. This combination of base endurance and power endurance training helped me a lot to send 512 routes. I was amazed by how I was able to recover in the middle of the route by hanging and shaking, which was something I never appreciated when I worked on 512A. Also, I no longer power out like before. After good rest, I can reset and face the cracks. Jesus Wept was a combination of delicate crimp and pocket moves, power moves, and you need to be able to complete the whole climb by having good endurance. If you were able to understand the different energy systems, you would be able to strategically train to develop that energy system and work on the project more efficiently. Another thing we improved so much in the last 2 years was that we got used to climbing outside in general by accumulating more experience. Climbing outside had so many distractions, finding holes that are not colored like indoor, uncomfortable footholds, a huge runout that scares you, people waiting for you to finish your beta burn and come down. All these things sound minor, but they distract you while climbing and can actually decrease your physical ability to send a route. We're reading the book called Zen of Climbing now, and it talks about how these mental distractions can affect your performance. Highly recommended. For example, when I first got on Sex Farm, I was very scared of falling because the route goes diagonal and I could swing a lot if I fell. When I'm scared on the wall, I panic, lose control of my grip and feet, which makes me shrug, and I end up falling. This is obviously more of a mental problem than my physical ability to make the moves. After working on some moves and gaining more confidence, I was finally able to stay calm and performed my 100% to send the route. By accumulating similar experiences like this, I'm more confident in managing the situations and keep climbing. In general, Sahan likes steeper routes and he's not a big fan of vertical faces, but Jesus Wept was aesthetic, so he focused on gaining more experience in climbing vertical routes, where footwork and techniques are very important. Also, by exploring different routes at the Red, we learned how to find footholds, how to grip certain types of features, and how sharing the route with other people looks like. All these little things add up to your confidence and can actually greatly contribute to your performance. It might be worthwhile to spend some time climbing different routes in the crack to get used to the rock and community before jumping onto the project at your limit. In this video, we shared our experience in the last 2 years progressing from 512A to 512D. I hope it was helpful for you to effectively work on your sport climbing project. And if it was, please share your experience in the comment and like the video. Thank you for watching.